Okay, so chapter 15. I liked and didn't like this chapter. It's called Get Connected. I didn't like it at first because it said make social connections. And I'm like, this is so painfully superficial. I hate it. And then I read it a bit more. And I'm like, yeah, I still hate it. And then I read it a bit more. And I'm like, okay. Then I got to the part on quality connections. And I'm like, all right, you've redeemed yourself this chapter. So, but basically, like, I hate the whole idea of being superficial. And I noticed this, like, back in high school. Like, you had all these people and all these so-called friends, and everyone was just really fake. And I'm like, I want none of this drama. So, I I said, nah, I'm just not doing people, forget friends. I hate everybody. I'm just gonna work. Not having it. Um, but like as an adult now, I understand and value the importance behind making connections. Um, Mainly because of this new like paradigm shift that I went through back in high school. And it was this whole idea of being light, which can manifest itself as being kind, just smiling at strangers. Um, so I was like, all right, cool. uh, I can get with this idea of make social connections with the context of if you treat everybody like family, then you'll inspire more light to exist in the world. But I am more concerned with this whole idea of making quality connections because I hate superficial stuff. I hate it so much. So I really like the idea of getting to know people and really just forming these super tight bonds with them. Like I'm into the whole soul friend. Uh, I forgot what it's called. Kindred soul, kindred soul. I'm I'm really into the whole kindred soul thing, and I love finding people who both motivate me and inspire me to do better. Because you can find a bunch of people to be friends with, and then you're failing college because you decided to hang around with a bunch of people that aren't really good with you, but hey, you make connections. Or you can go out and really try to make quality connections. And I think the way that you make quality connections is by first analyzing who you are as a person and deciding, okay, well, what are my values in life? What do I think are most important? And then going out and find people who agree with you and also disagree with you, because you have these values based off of your contextual experiences in life. Um, but you should get to know other people's values too. So, quality connections over just making connections. That's all I'm gonna say. Um, so the other part of this, the question that this chapter poses to us is who would you have on like your advisory board or your special CEO board, or I forgot what the word was called. Um, so for me, uh, at the head of the board, I would have the former owner of Culver's, the one, the only, Fernanda Fernandez, Brazilian, speaks Portuguese, Spanish, and English. I love her so much. She's beautiful, so hardworking, an icon. We stand. But basically, because she is who I aspire to be like, she inspires the best out of every single person, and she's also wickedly committed to her standards. If you don't do it her way, then you just out automatically, because she was the owner and she could make those kinds of decisions. But most importantly, she worked with you, and I made a lot of mistakes. It being my first job and everything else, like I made a lot of mistakes. And she was like, "Girl, can you even read English? Like, what is this?" At some point in my training with her. um, but she was really committed to every single one of us as an individual, and she was the last person that we would have to meet with upon being hired. She would do the very last interview with us, and she would also do our first day orientation stuff, because she wanted to create those connections. She wanted to build that relationship of trust right from the get go, which is not something you see in a lot of different businesses. Um, but that's why I would have her at the head, because she has like really good head on her shoulders and she gets it. Next, I would have Mr. Mogg, who is my high school band director, one of my high school band directors. And he's crazy. He's a lot of fun, but he is also committed to his students and their growth and their experiences and giving them the power to speak their own truth. He does he is a white man, and he acknowledges a lot of the privilege that he has in the society. And he says, "Look, straight up, I'm a white dude. Well, not with that language, obviously. But he's like, look, straight up, I'm a white man. I understand I have certain privileges. That does not mean that I have the end all, be all, say all in this class. You guys are in control of your own education. You guys are in control of your own grade. But most importantly, you guys are in control of your own life. So whatever it is you want to accomplish in life, I'm going to be here and support you. So that's why Mr. Ma gets number 2. Number 3 would be my other band director from high school, same school, Miss White, or Mrs. Baxmeyer. She got married halfway through. She takes the same initiative. She's kind of like a softer blend between Fernanda and Mog, and she is also a go-getter. She also has high expectations, but she demands the very best. Like, she puts in her 100%, and that's all she's asking from her students back and whoever follows her back. She says, look, I'm giving you all of me, so give me all of you, and let's make something work out of this. Again, making connections, building relationships. Who else would I have on my board? Yeah. Oh, Luis, my father. How can I forget about my father? So my father figure out work, Luis. I love this man so much. He is kind of like the Law and Order kind of guy, stemming off of Fernanda, but he also has a really sarcastic sense of humor. So he'll be like, wow, you really messed up, but this is how you fix it, and maybe don't do that next time kind of attitude. And it can be really disheartening at times, but it's also really encouraging, because if you're like completely floundering, he'll step in and he'll take care of the situation for you, and then he'll teach you what he did and where you went wrong. So it's like a lot of direct feedback, a lot of one-on-one working with him, which is why absolutely 100% my father has to be on the board. And that is how you make quality connections.